Okay, so the Vanderbilt Commodores this season did pretty decent, dude. I don't know how we don't even talk about some of the lesser teams in power conferences like Vanderbilt, because they did some funny stuff this season. Like, they beat the team that says Roll Tide and upsetting them tremendously. Man, that game brought a tear to my eye, bro. Because Alabama, y'all sold that game. But in all seriousness, I think Vanderbilt will start to be a powerhouse of a school with this rebuilding stage. Vanderbilt has a great head coach in Clark Lee, and I think he is honestly showing signs of a great rebuild for Vanderbilt and recruiting too. And let's not forget that they might be building around their star quarterback, Diego Pavia, which, if you dudes don't know, I think he was in the news recently. He was suing the NCAA basically for more eligibility to play another season of college football. I think having him stay another year will be something, as they will build around him to make Vanderbilt a powerhouse. This season for Vanderbilt was up and down, and just overall still hilarious to me. Now, they did have some losses in their season for 2024 that were close, but still good. I know in week 1 they took on the Virginia Tech Hokies, and man, that game was absolutely fun. They went to overtime and would beat the Hokies 34-27. They would also go on to beat Alcorn State their second week 55-0, but it was on their 5th week. That was just super hilarious to me, going on to upset the Alabama Crimson Tide 40-35. And man, everyone on TikTok and X were just clowning the Tide for losing to the Vanderbilt Commodores, bro. Like, what in the heck? And at the time, Alabama was number 1 in the nation, and they would beat my Georgia Bulldogs. Sadly, but still, I'm still salty about that, bro, with that game with Georgia. But hey, it's all good. They would also go on to beat Kentucky, Ball State, and Auburn during the season. Now, that's 6 wins, which does get them to a bowl game against Georgia Tech in the Birmingham Bowl, which that's going to also be really cool too. Now, for Vanderbilt's losses, most of their losses were actually pretty close. Like with Texas on week 8, they would go on to lose to Texas by 3 points, which makes me think that they are actually showing signs that they can match with some of the big boy teams in the SEC. They also did lose to Missouri in overtime, which still justifies that they are still in a good rebuilding stage in college football overall. Now, for Vanderbilt, I would love to see them improve their offense with a rebuild, since they like to pass the ball a lot. I do hope they get more wide receivers and some versatile tight ends that catch the ball a lot too. It has some great, amazing seasons back in 2012 and 2013, both under James Franklin as head coach. Yes, that James Franklin. The 2012 season was honestly very cool, as they go on to be 9-4, of course, and play in the Music City Bowl, beating NC State. But that season, I do remember them beating the Tennessee Volunteers too, which, of course, they would beat them 41-18, blowing them out, which is honestly a very cool game that I watched as a kid. I was still enjoying college football. Of course, I am a Georgia Bulldog fan, but I enjoyed college football overall as a kid, man. Like, I just really enjoyed it overall. And I just remember them beating the Volunteers on TV, and it was just crazy, honestly. Now, Vanderbilt in 2013 had the same record, which was 9-4. They would go on to beat Houston 41-24 in the Compass Bowl, but that would also be James Franklin's final time at Vanderbilt that season, as he would later to go on to move to Pennsylvania State, or the Penn State Nittany Lions, and be their head coach, which honestly, I mean, that's honestly a okay move in my opinion. I mean, going to Penn State, but we all don't think they're overrated, right? Right? Come on now, say right with me. But anyway, looking at all of this, Vanderbilt has some things to work on. Just mainly their defense, in my opinion. Their offense isn't that bad, but could be a bit better with the touch. Again, like I said, they're still in their rebuilding stage. They could still use a little bit more of a touch-up, in my opinion, dude. Now, let me tell you guys, I feel like the public would not want Vanderbilt to be in the playoffs, man. Because let's say if Vanderbilt had an undefeated record, or whatnot, they would most likely get criticized for being a terrible team. Now, this season, they're going bowling, but still, people are always going to be fickle over teams making it into the playoffs. I mean, just look at SMU. I mean, of course, they did get blown out in the playoffs, but still, that's their first time being in the playoffs, and heck, they might even come back stronger than ever. I mean, surely they face Penn State at their home turf, basically Beaver Stadium, bruh. Like, you're not winning that, bruh. People will say that nobody would want to see Vanderbilt in the playoffs and not even give them a chance, and it's just like, come on, man, nah. You got to give some of these other teams a chance. I mean, that's just how it is when it comes to the college football world. I mean, it's diverse. You just got to always expect the unexpected. I mean, heck, you might even see Marshall being in the playoffs, or, I don't know, UTEP. who knows, bro? But sometimes it makes me think with Vanderbilt, if they did make it to the playoffs, would they get ridiculed for being an inferior team or not? I want you guys to comment your thoughts down below on what you think would happen if Vanderbilt were in the playoffs. Now, will Vanderbilt be able to make the playoffs in the near future? There is a chance that they could make the playoffs with the way that they just magically upset teams and have close scores with them. There are signs of them making the playoffs in the near future. Now, next year, maybe not. But I say give it a few good years, and I would think they could potentially make the playoffs. They just have to worry about the big boy teams in the conference, like Bama, Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and so on. But hey, who knows what could happen in college football, man, okay? I mean, you just don't know what could happen, and that's what makes college football fun and entertaining. It's just you don't know what could happen with all these different teams in college football. Just with Vanderbilt, however, in the SEC, they're just mainly the Northwestern of the SEC. Mainly just another kind of team that honestly is like in the background, just not even there, just literally trying to just get their way to the top and whatnot. I mean, there are not other teams in the SEC that are like that too. Yeah. Now, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Please again leave your comments down below on what you think about the Vanderbilt Commodores and how do you feel about them this season. I want to know what you guys think about them. Now, in my opinion, I personally think that Vanderbilt themselves are honestly going to be a very cool rebuild of a team coming for 2025 next year or 2026 and so on, dude. I think they're going to probably start to creep up and be a big powerhouse team in the SEC. We just got to give them time and just let them cook, bro. I think they're going to be cooking up a little bit of something, man. I mean, we don't know, but hey, you never know what could happen in college football. Like I said earlier in the video, you just never know what can happen in college football, dude. I mean, it is what it is. But of course, dudes, I am the Gaming Raptor. Again, make sure you guys subscribe and like for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, peace out.